So welcome back guys to another video on Kids Coding Playground. Today we'll be demoing our game of the Christmas platformer. So we will be doing this video somewhere this week. We haven't been posting lately because we're really busy right now. So I'm just gonna give a little walkthrough of the game. So we have a little music in the background as well. You have some snow effect. You have the fastest time up here, the timer, level, and you move the player using arrow keys or WASD, and when you hit the flag, you go to the next level. You can also wall jump, and so this is level 3, it's just some presents. It's just a simple platformer we'll be teaching you guys how to do. We also have jump pads. We have some sloping and some of that. Wall jump. As you can see, this level is for wall jump. Another wall jump level. So if you touch the red, you're gonna die. And this level, I made it really hard. So you have to be pretty careful to beat it. And the hat, when the hat touches the spikes, you don't die. It's so in our Among Us platformer, we taught you guys that you could use two things, like the main character and the animated characters. So that's what we did. And this level is a bit hard, but I passed it. And then this level, you kind of have to be lucky. So I put an invisible block and you have to jump on it. There you go. Fell off. And then, boom. And that's it. Good job. Hopefully you completed the game. I just wrote something in the back. And please subscribe to Kids Coding Playground, and thank you for learning with us. So you can check out the link of the game in the description below. And then let's see how fast you guys can do it. The fastest time I got was 41.581 seconds. So yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye! So welcome back guys to Kids Coding Playground. Today we'll be doing a Christmas platformer in Scratch. We decided to do a Christmas platformer because Christmas is coming up soon, and it's basically a generic platformer. Use the arrow keys to move around. You use the arrow keys or the WASD, and then you jump over obstacles to prevent dying, and you want to get to the green flag to advance to the next level. Okay, and then before we start, we would want to learn these following concepts in Scratch: variables, broadcasting messages, custom blocks, operators, cloning, and platformer logic. And then we have two people we want to give a shout out to. These two people gave us a suggestion to make a Christmas platformer in Scratch because Christmas is coming up. This first person gave us the idea first, so big thanks to both of you for giving us the idea for making a Christmas platformer. So before we start, please like, share, and subscribe. Okay, now let's move on to the tutorial. Okay, so now we have our project, so we got a new project. So we're gonna first rename our project. So let's name it Christmas Platformer. So first we're gonna delete the scratch cat. We'll not need that. So we're gonna upload some sprites from our backpack. And we have these sprites in the Google Drive in the description below. So you can just download them in the description. So we're gonna upload them. So we have the green flag. We have the snow, like the snow effect. We have the ground. So I already have all the costumes for the ground, like right here. We'll put a couple of them inside the Google Drive. So yeah, this is the ground. And then we'll get the spikes. We'll have this in the Google Drive. You can draw your own as well if you want. It's not that hard to draw. And then we have the player, the actual player, main character. So the player and main character are different, so you can name this the animated character, like we taught inside the Among Us platformer. Okay, animated character, and this is the main character. So this thing follows this thing. And then we have the trampoline, which is the bounce pad thing. We have 8 costumes for it. It's in the description as well. Okay, so now we have all our sprites. Let's get working onto the code, and before we work on the code, let's get a backdrop. So for the backdrop, I got this backdrop. It was think it's like called snow or something. Snow. Let me find it. So you can actually pick anything you want. It was winter. Yeah, found it. Okay, so this one was the one I picked. But what I did was I deleted these trees, so it was just basically a little hill, snowy hill, and I made a ground for it right here. So yeah, so that's what I did for the backdrop. Okay, so now let's start coding. Alright, when we start, we want to get a when green flag clicked. Let's make it bigger. This is in the main character, by the way, so we're going to be coding in the main character right now. So when green flag is clicked, we're going to set the size to 50. I'm pretty sure it is, but if yours is not, then you want to set to 50% because 100 is way too big. And then we're going to set the ghost effect of the main character to 100% because we will not be using it to show. But we don't want to hide it as well because then it would just like not be able to feel anything. So we got to make it ghost effect 100. And then in the beginning, let's make some variables. So we already have two variables right here. One is deviation, one is jumping. We'll need those later. We will not need them right now. So you can just ignore that for now. We're going to make a new variable called level. So this is for all sprites. Level. So this is just to track what level you're on. So in the beginning, of course, we want to set the level to 1. And then we're going to make a new custom block for resetting the player. So we're going to name it reset player. So this is just to reset the player position and all that. So just write reset player or whatever you want, reset, and then click OK. Okay, so now so we want to reset him at x negative 200, y 0. That's what I did. And then we're going to make another player. So we're going to put a G in front of all the global variables. So we're going to G is player dead. So this is just to detect if the player is dead or not. So is player dead, G velocity. We'll need all of these variables later, but we'll not need them like right now. We're just going to like reset them right here. And then we're going to need G on ground. So this is to detect if it's on the ground. The code in this platformer is very similar to the Among Us platformer. So you can use the Among Us platformer for reference. And then G gravity. G gravity. And then we have jumping, which we already made. So anything that is like without the G in front of it is not global. So you want to make jumping as a for the sprite only. So we made jumping as a for the sprite only. So gotta make this as for the sprite only. Okay. So next we want to reset all the variables. So let's set G is player dead to no, because when the game starts he's not dead. I'm gonna set a lot of variables to 0. So G velocity to 0. Duplicate another one. Set G on ground to 0. And then set G gravity to -1. The gravity is always going to be -1. It's going to be going down by -1 every time. And then we're going to set the variable jumping to 0. Okay. And then right here in this with green flag clicked, after we set all of this, we want to do reset player right here. And then we're going to broadcast a message. And then we're going to name it start game. Start game. And then we're going to broadcast another message called start new level. We'll need this later. Start new level. So start new game and start new level. So after you got start game and start new level, let's work on the movement. Okay, so for the movement, we're going to make a new block. So let's make a block. Let's name it movement control. Movement control. Okay, so now we have our custom block. Oh yeah, and also for the custom block, don't forget to run screen without refresh. So it will always will be constantly updating. So you want to check that. Okay, so we have the custom block. Let's put that right here. Okay. Alright, now let's define it. So we're gonna do if Go to control. Okay, let's drag the if then block into here, and then let's get an or. So we're gonna do if you can do the right arrow or the WASD. So if key right arrow or key WASD, key D, which is for the right, is we'll set the variable G speed X. We're gonna make a new variable called G speed X. Okay, it's for all sprites. Remember, all sprites, all variables with the G in front is for all sprites. So G speed X. We're gonna set the G speed X right here. G speed X to 7. So the speed is gonna be 7. You can make it any speed you want, but I preferred 7. So let's duplicate this, put that under here, and then when the left arrow is being pressed, or A, then we're gonna do G speed X to -7. So it's moving to the left. And then we're gonna set, so this is like the little, what's it called? Friction. So this is Griffpatch's code. We have the friction. So we're gonna set the G speed X. G speed X. We're gonna multiply it by 0.8. G speed X multiplied by 0.8. So yeah. So let's go to operators. Get a multiplication symbol. Okay, multiply it by 0.8. And then we're gonna get the G speed X. G speed X, put that in here. Okay, and then after that we want to get an if then statement. If actually no, let's do this later. We're gonna have to make another custom block. So this is like to actually move the player. So we're gonna do another my block. So let's name it move player. And then we're gonna make a new input. Let's name it speed X. So it's gonna be the new input. Okay, so now you have to run it screen without refresh, so it's always constantly updating. Okay, so now we have this new custom block right here. So let's define it. Right now, okay, so we're gonna get to the change X. So we want to change the X by speed X, and right here we're gonna call the speed X right here. So if greater than symbol. So if the absolute value of the G speed X is greater than 0.9, then we're gonna move the player to the round of the speed X. Move the player. So we're gonna be calling this. That means it will change the X by the round of G speed X. So what this is just friction. So we're gonna round G speed X. Okay, now let's try it out. Oh yeah, and before we start, this does not work yet. So first we need to code something else. So remember we broadcasted a message, start game. So we're gonna go events, when I receive start game. We're gonna have to get a show. And then we're gonna get a repeat until. So we're gonna repeat until is player dead. Okay, so if the player dead is equal to yes, G player is dead equals yes. So if it's dead, then we're gonna broadcast another message. We're gonna call it start all control. So we're gonna need this to activate all the control. And then we're gonna broadcast 2 other messages we will not need right now. We'll need them in the future though, so just pay attention so you'll remember that you will need these messages. So we're going to check platform detection. So check platform detection. Okay, and then we're going to make one more. Let's name this one check player position. So this is checking player position. Okay, so after this, we're gonna get one more thing. So we're gonna get the start all control. So when I receive start all control, we're gonna call the movement control variable. So not variable, custom block. Movement controls right here. Let's call that. So then it'll run this. Okay, so if you want this to show the character, you have to take out the ghost effect. So as you can see, When you play it, now the player can move around. As you can see, there's a bit friction as well. So yeah, this is the main character. You can add this set ghost effect back. So now we can make the animated character go to the actual this thing, animated character. So I hope you have all of this done. Okay, so once you're done with this, we're gonna go to the animated character, and then we're gonna get a when green flag clicked, go to front layer. Let's make this bigger. When green flag clicked, go to front layer as the animated character. Remember, we're in the animated character sprite. And then we're gonna get a forever loop. Forever. And we're gonna make this go to the main character. Main. And I'm gonna make sure this is left and right. So remember to set this as rotation styles left to right, so then it will not flip upside down. Okay, so now let's get another when green flag clicked. When green flag is clicked, we're going to get a forever loop. If the key right or D is being pressed, so key right arrow, or D is being pressed, then we can point in direction of 90, and then we can just duplicate this. If key left arrow or A is being pressed, then we'll point in direction of negative 90, so it's facing the left. So as you can see now, let's play it. As you can see, this player, an animated character, went to the main character, and now when you move it, you can see the animated character is going to it, and you can move it around. So yeah, I think that should be it for this tutorial. So this is going to be the first part of the Christmas platformer series. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and comment in the comment section below on what you want to see next. And thank you guys for watching. See you guys, bye! So welcome back, guys. It's Kids Coding Playground here. Today we'll be finishing the second part of the Christmas platformer. So from yesterday we had this code, so like all of this. I'm gonna slowly go through it, so if you did not finish anything, then you can do it right now. You can pause the video. And then we have the animated character. That's it. And then from yesterday we were able to make the player move around with friction. So yeah, that was what we did from yesterday. So we're going to work on the main character now. So let's go here. So remember, from the move player X, speed X, we're gonna work on this. So we have a variable called deviation. So the variables without G in front of it are for this sprite only. You have to make deviation for this sprite only. It's a variable, so you're just gonna do this, set the deviation to 0. So what deviation is for like collision with walls and stuff like that. So we're gonna repeat until deviation is equal to 8 or not touching ground. So before I had deviation equals to 5, which does not work out very well because like you can glitch through the candy canes on one of my levels. So you want to do 8. So it depends on what your levels look like. So I'm just gonna do 8. Then we're gonna get a not touching ground. So if it's not touching the ground, touching ground. Okay, and then we're gonna change the Y by 1. Change Y by 1. And then we're gonna change the deviation by 1. And after that, we're gonna get an if-then statement. So if-else statement. So let's go control. Get an if-else statement. Put it under this thing. So we're gonna get if it's touching the ground. If touching ground. And so this is for the wall jumping. So we're gonna put an if-else in the first if-then statement. If-then slot. And then if the key up or the W is being pressed. So we're gonna do if key up or W. So duplicate that. W. Right there. So this is for wall jumping. and then we're going to get another if else statement. So go to control, and then we're going to put that in the first slot. And I actually think this is not supposed to be an if else. Sorry about that. It's supposed to be an if then, not an if else. So this if touching ground should be an if then. So put that right there, ground, and then put this in like that. So if key up or key W is being pressed, then we are going to, in this if else statement, we're going to do if that whatever that speed x is right here is greater than 0. So 0 is greater, so we're going to get speed x greater than 0. Then we're going to set the speed x in -16. So this is the wall jumping script. Set g speed x to -16. Else we're going to set g speed x to 16. And then we're going to set in here, right here, we're going to set the on ground to 0. Set on ground to 0. So when on ground is equal to 0, that means the player's inside the air. And then next we're going to use the jumping variable we made, I think. So jumping, it's for the sprite only. We're going to set jumping to 1. Jumping to 1 means it's jumping in progress, so we're going to set the jumping to 1. And then we're going to set the g velocity to 10. So that's going to be the velocity. And then we're going to change the x by the g speed x. Change x by g speed x. Right here. And after that, we're going to get else right here. We're going to set the g speed x to 0. Okay, and then after this, we're going to get an if then statement. If deviation is equal to 8. If deviation is equal to 8. Deviation right here. Then we're going to do a change x. Change x by 0 minus sx. So that's going to be speed x, the 0 minus whatever the value speed x is. So we're going to get a subtraction symbol. 0 minus the speed x. So after that, we're going to duplicate this. I mean, not duplicate it, we're going to get change y instead. To change the y by 0, we duplicate this though. Instead of speed x, we're going to minus it by the deviation. Okay, so after that, this is the code for the wall jumping and like collision script. Okay, so next we want to make another custom block. So we're going to call it jumping. And we want to click the run screen without refresh right here. So we have the jumping. Now let's define it. Okay, so we're going to get if then statement. We're going to just duplicate this. If key up arrow or W is being pressed, put that in here. Then we're going to get another if then statement. If the G on ground is greater than 0, this means it is on the ground if it's greater than 0. So if the G on ground is greater than 0, that means it is on the ground. If it's equal to 0, that means it's in the air. So it's greater than 0, it's on the ground. Okay, so we're only going to allow the person to jump if it's on the ground. So we're going to have to set the G on ground to 0. So if the player is on the ground, that means we're going to set it G on ground to 0. That means you can jump. And then we're going to set jumping to 1. So then you can actually jump. Jumping to 1. And then we're going to set the G velocity to 15. Okay, so now we're finished with the jumping custom block. Remember what we did right here in the start all control? We're going to have to call some more functions right here. So right here we're going to call jumping as well, along with the movement control. Okay, so this is, we're going to get an if else statement. So this is like jumping, gravity, and all that stuff. So when you're falling down, you'll fall quicker. And when you're jumping up, you'll fall slower. So when you're jumping, falling down from like right here, you're going to fall faster. So we're going to get an if else statement, duplicate this code, up arrow or key W. We're going to put that right here. And then after that, we're gonna go to the variables, and then we're gonna change the g velocity by the g gravity. And then else we're gonna change the g velocity by g gravity by times 2. So g gravity we define right here as -1 right here. So that means if you multiply it by 2, that means it'll be -2. So you're gonna fall faster if you're falling down from a high area. So like that. And then after that, we're gonna change the y by the g velocity. So the g velocity is gonna be the y. So we're gonna change y by the g velocity. Okay, so now we've done all of that. So as you can see right now, when you click the play, they'll just fall down immediately because we have not done the ground detection. So that's why the ground is not working right now. So you have to we're gonna add the code later after this. So like when you click play, the ground is not detecting, it's not blocking him. So now let's work on the script for that. So we're gonna define a new custom block. Let's make a new block. So we're gonna click the run screen without refresh, and then we're gonna name this block check hit ground. So we're gonna name it check hit ground. So it's to detect if it's hitting the ground, and we're gonna add a boolean input. And we're gonna call it is jumping. So is jumping, run screen without refresh. Okay. And then we're gonna click OK right here, and now we can define this thing. So we're gonna repeat until not touching ground. And then we're gonna get an if else statement. So we're gonna put this right here. So later we'll call this function, so you don't have to worry about it right now. We'll call it later. So then if it's not touching the ground, then so like you spawn right here, right? So we're gonna keep on decreasing the y by -1. So change y by -1. And then we're gonna set the g velocity to 0. And after that, else we're gonna change the y by 1, so then it will constantly push the player up on the ground, so then it won't fall through. That's why we did the run screen without refresh, so then it's always refreshing, so then it's always updating, so the player will never fall through. So we're gonna change the y by 1. The run screen without refresh just makes it immediate, so then it won't fall through. So that's what it does. So then we're gonna do change y by 1. Change y by 1, so then it'll keep on pushing it up. We're going to set the g velocity to 0, and then set on ground to 1, set on the ground to 1. Okay, so on ground is greater than 1, so right here. Okay, so we set the g on ground to 1 because it's on the ground, because right here we defined it right here as if the g on ground is greater than 1, that means it's on the ground. Okay, so now we have to add another if then statement. Let's go to control. If jumping is equal to 1, if jumping is equal to 1, then we're gonna set jumping back to 0. Set jumping to 0. Okay, and then now we're gonna have to define what this boolean input is. So next we're gonna get a check platform detections. From up here we broadcasted check platform detection right here, so now we're gonna receive it. So over here, when I receive check platform detection, we're gonna get this boolean input. So if the g velocity is greater than 0, this is what this is jumping is g velocity greater than 0. G velocity is greater than 0. Okay, so that's what we're gonna put there. Okay, so now let's try it out. Okay, now let's try it out. So as you can see, now it is blocking the player from falling down. So now you can move on the ground pretty fine, and you have a little bit of friction. Okay, now I think we can work on maybe the spikes and we can create one level. Okay. Also, since we coded the jumping, now you can actually jump. So let's play it. You can move around, you can jump. So that's what we can do right now. Jump and move around. So yeah, we will work on the other levels now. So let's go. So for the ground, we have a bunch of costumes. I'm just gonna use the first costume right now. We're just gonna do one level for testing. So let's start out on the spikes. So we're gonna be using clones. So in the spikes, I'm gonna get it when green flag clicked. It's too big. When green flag is clicked, point direction of 90. Because in one level I made it flip upside down. So if you are gonna make spikes flip upside down, you have to make it point direction of 90 in the beginning. And then we're gonna make it go to the front layer and hide in the beginning. And we're gonna make a new my block. Place, clone, add. So we're gonna be using clones, like I said. Put two inputs. One has to be an X and one is Y. Okay, so then click OK. And then we're gonna set the X and Y. So we're gonna make new variables. So I think we already have them right here. As you can see, we have the X and Y. So for the X and Y, we have to make them for this sprite only. So make the X and Y variable for just the spikes only. So we're gonna set the X to this X, and we're gonna set the Y to this Y. And after that, we're gonna show and create a clone of myself. Okay, after creating a clone, when I start as a clone, we want to go to the X and Y. So go to whatever the X and Y value is, which is this. Okay, and then next we want to receive a message called reset. Okay, so now let's go to the main character. So before we can finish the spikes, we have to broadcast a message from the main character. So remember we had this check player position, so we're gonna need it. Check player position. Player position. So, and then we're gonna get a forever loop. Forever loop. If you don't have to worry about the top right now yet, but we'll need it later, so we're just gonna add it right now. So if touching green flag and level is less than 11, I did 10 levels, that's why 11 levels. So we're just gonna do like 3 levels right now, so I'm just gonna do it less than 3. So then we're gonna do touching green flag, and then we're gonna less than. I'm just gonna do 3 for now. Level, the variable level. Then we're gonna change the level by 1. So like when you touch the green flag, change the level by 1. Change level by 1, and then we're gonna broadcast a message. Then we're gonna name it start new level. Start new level. Okay, and then start new level, we're gonna broadcast it into here. So let's broadcast start new level right here in the main character. So start new level. We're going to broadcast reset and wait. We're gonna broadcast reset, a new message. Reset. And then we're gonna broadcast setup. So these are for like the other sprites. Setup is when you need multiple, and yeah, these are for basically the obstacles. And then we're gonna broadcast another start new level. So when I receive start new level, then we're gonna reset the player. Reset player, and we're gonna broadcast start game. Start game. Okay. Okay, so now after this we're going to go to the spikes. So let's go to the spike code. Okay, so then in the spikes, we're going to get a reset. So like this is when you reset, you're gonna have to delete all the clones. So when I receive reset, delete this clone. And then down here in setup, this is setting up all of these spikes. So setup, we are going to set the X and Y to 0 in the beginning. Set X and set Y to 0. X and Y. And then we're going to get a if level is equal to 1. We only have one level right now. So if level is equal to 1. So level is equal to 1. Level. And then we're going to use the place the clone block. So you can just show the spikes. Like you can move this out of the way. You can like drag it maybe like right here, and then it'll show the X and Y position. Let's go back to the spikes, and then we just write the X, which is 17, and the Y is negative 115. Okay, so the spikes obviously don't kill you right now, but as you can see, they will place the spikes there. And you can jump around, there's a little bit of friction. So yeah, that's basically it for this tutorial. And actually one last thing before we end the video, we actually want to add a little bit more code. So right here, we're going to go to the ground, when green flag clicked, go to 0, 0, let's go to the center. Go to 0, 0. And then we're going to get a forever loop. Forever, if level is less than 4, okay, so if the level is less than 4, we're just going to do 4 for now. Level. And we're going to switch the costume to whatever level is. Switch costume to level. Put that in here. Okay, so now when you touch the green flag, as you can see, let's play it. When you touch the green flag, it'll switch to the next level. So you can see wall jumping is working as well. So yeah, as you can see, it's going to the next level, but it's not fully functioning yet. So yeah, that's basically it for this tutorial. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe and ring the notification bell as well. See you guys in the next video. Bye. So welcome back, guys. It's Kids Coding Playground here. Today we'll be doing another video on the Christmas platformer. So from last video, we're just going to go over the code from last video. So let's do that really quick. So this is the checking the player position, like the green flag. This is like positioning the green flag, stuff like that. If it's touching the green flag, then it'll move on to the next level. Platform detection, if it's hitting the ground. Starting a new level. Resetting the player, starting the game. Okay, this is when you start the game. We have jumping, and this is starting all the controls like moving and jumping. And then we have jumping. Oh, this is jumping. Sorry about that. This is jumping, and this is if it's hitting the ground. And then this is jumping, movement control, and then this is the move player speed X. Okay. And after that, we have the animated character, some simple code. We didn't change anything from the last video. Green flag, nothing here. Snow, we'll work on that later. Ground, we have this code right here. And the spikes, we'll be completing it. We'll be adding some other stuff to it. And trampoline, we have not done yet. So yeah. So without further ado, let's get into the coding. So let's go over here. Let's get this block we coded from the last video. So the check player position. So we're going to get an if-then statement. Let's put that on top. So if it's touching the color, so like this is like if it's touching the color red, or it's falling off the edge, so we're going to do this. So if, we need an or, okay, so if touching the color red, so we're going to use this little eyedropper and select this red color. Or the Y position is less than negative 170. So like we have like one level where like you can fall off. So we're gonna make that little fall off thing. That's why we need this. So if it's less than 170, negative 170. So if the Y position Let's go here. Y position is less than -170. We're gonna broadcast another message. We're gonna name it die, so the player is dead, if any of those conditions are true. And then we're gonna get another if-then statement. So if the G player dead is equal to yes, so if the player is dead is equal to yes, so we're gonna get the G player dead. Detection of the player's dead is equal to yes. Then we're gonna wait a 0.1 second, and then we're gonna reset the player. So 0.1 seconds, reset the player, and then we're gonna broadcast start game. Start game right there. Okay. So now we're done with this. We need for this to receive die. So I forgot to zoom in a little bit. So now I zoomed in, so you have a better look at it now. So now we're gonna do something else. We're gonna receive. So when I receive die, we're gonna set the G is player dead to yes. So G is player dead to yes. Okay. So now I think we can move on to the spikes. So let's go to the spikes. So for the spikes, we can add some more spikes for each level. Actually, no, let's work on the green flag first before we do the spikes. But now, as you can see, when you touch the spikes, you go back to the beginning. As you can see. So yeah, now the spikes can actually kill you. So yeah, let's go into the green flag and work on the green flag instead. Now, okay, so for the green flag, we're gonna make some of the similar code as the spikes. So we're just gonna drag and drop the place clone at XY. Just drag and drop that to the green flag. And then in the green flag, we can also drag and drop this when I start as a clone into here. We can also drag and drop this as well, and this. But of course, we're gonna have to change some of the code up. Okay, so as you can see, now we have this. We can take this out because we're gonna work. We have to do different X and Y positions. So let's start coding in this block. This is the block in particular we're gonna code for now. So I'm gonna get a forever loop. So I did this in the costumes where I made 2 green flags. So what I did is I used converted to bitmap, cut it like that, and then after cutting it, I flipped it vertical, and then I made 2 costumes. So then it looks like it's waving. The flag is waving around. So that's what I did. So we're gonna do forever next costume, and then we're gonna wait 0.2 seconds. So if you do not have this, you can either download one from online, or you can just get it from our Google Drive in the description below, or you can make your own if you'd like. So this is them moving, the flag waving or whatever. And then in the beginning, we actually want to hide this thing. So when green flag clicked, we want to hide. Okay, I forgot to zoom in again, but now you have a clear look at this. We're gonna put this right here, and we're gonna hide. Okay, and now we're gonna position this somewhere else. So let's go to the setup code right here. So we're gonna get an if-then statement. If level is equal to 1. So if the variable level is equal to 1, then I'm gonna place a clone like right here. You can drag the flag wherever you want it to be. Maybe right here. So I'm gonna get these positions. So place clone at 208 and -107. So those are the 2 positions I have. So yeah, you can do any place you'd like, but I just like dragged it somewhere on the right side. Okay, so now for the player, now you can see it. And I forgot to do one thing. So before we before we try it out, I actually tried it out, and there's a bug right here. So you have to put the hide and set the X to -99999. So we want to move the original green flag off of the screen. So X to -99999. Okay, something like that. Okay. So there you go. Let's try it out. As you can see, the flag looks pretty good. When you hit the spikes, you die, obviously, and when you touch the flag, you advance to the next level. Of course, the spikes are not done yet, because on the next level, we have like some of this, but the spikes are still there because we didn't change the position. So we're gonna do that. And for the next level, what I did was just like some of this. Just a tree. I got a tree from the Sprite library, and I put a platform. And we put some of these things in the description, so like you can download them if you'd like. So let's go back to the spikes. Let's go to the code. And then for the spikes, we also have to do the same thing. We have to do hide and set the X to -9999. Okay, something like that, okay? And then for level 2, we're gonna probably place the spikes maybe right here. This is just a random thing I just did. I didn't actually do this in the actual thing, I don't think. But I'm just gonna do it, because why not? So let's just do that. So we're gonna duplicate this, put that. So this is gonna be level 2. We're working on level 2 now. So when level is equal to 2, we're gonna place a clone at wherever this place is. 138, and then 44, as you can see right here. Oops, accidentally added an extra 4. Okay, so this is the spikes, and then we can also add the green flag at the end. So we're gonna show the green flag. So I'm gonna give you one last look at this. Just did that, and let's go to the green flag. And then we showed it, so then we can move it. Probably put it like right here. Okay. So I'm gonna put it right there. You guys can put it wherever you want, whatever levels you want. So I'm just gonna move this, duplicate this code, put that right under, put that right there. So if the level's equal to 2, we're gonna go to 212, 53. Okay. So now let's try it out. So save it. Play it. So as you can see, let's go to the next level. As you can see, the spikes are there, and then the next level. So we just have to keep on adding green flags on each level. So as you can see, the spikes are not there anymore because it's not the same level. We didn't code it. So yeah, that's what we have for now. And let's work on the snowflakes, like the snow thing. So let's work on that. Okay. So for the snow, we're gonna make another variable. We're gonna name it GWind, global wind. So what this does is we can like change the direction of the snow. So we're gonna get a one green flag clicked. Zoom in a little. Forever loop. Set the GWind to pick random -1 to 1. GWind. Right there, so then we're gonna pick random. We're gonna set it to pick random either -1 or 1. So what GWind is like, just to change the X position of the snow. And then we're gonna get another one green flag clicked. So we're gonna set the ghost effect to 100 in the beginning. And then we're gonna start making clones after that. So we're gonna set the ghost effect, ghost, to 100. And then we're gonna go to like -240, Y 240, like in the top left corner. So that's what we want to do. So we're gonna set 240 somewhere in the top left corner. And after that, we're gonna get a forever loop. You can like do anything that's in the top left corner. And we're gonna get a forever loop. Create clone of myself. So we played with the numbers a little bit. So we want to wait a couple seconds, like 0.005. So like this is the perfect amount I found. Is 0.005 seconds to 0.01. So this is like the delay of how many clones will spawn. So like we just put a little bit delay, so it looks cool. Okay, let's save it, and then let's go to control, and then we're gonna get when I start as a clone. Okay, so now we're gonna start coding for the when I start as a clone. So we can also make the snowflakes random colors. So we're gonna set the size. Set size to pick random. Let's say 70 to 90. Let's do something like that. Pick random from 70 to 90. I'm just making up some numbers right now. You can do any number you would like. And then we're gonna go to, oh yeah, and by the way, the snow is in the description below. And if It's just a circle, small circle I drew. That's what it is. And then we're gonna go to pick random, duplicate that. Negative 240. 240, so in the beginning we want to go there. Pick random, negative 240 for the X position to 240. So it'll just either spawn from this corner or this corner, and then the Y is going to be 220. So it'll be on the top, like right here. And then we're going to get a repeat loop. Repeat 4 times. That's what I did. So like it will just keep on ghost effect as it keeps on going down. So we're going to change the ghost effect by negative 20 every time. So we're going to change ghost effect by negative 20 every time. And we're going to get another repeat 2 times. And then we're going to change the Y by negative 5. So it just keeps on constantly going down. Change Y by negative 5. And then we're going to change the X by the G win, which is right now defined as negative 1 to 1. So like it'll just keep on moving. So the wind can either push it to 1 or negative 1. So like it looks cooler. It makes the wind blow in one direction. So we're gonna do a change X. Change X by the G wind. Put that in there. And then after that we're gonna get a repeat until loop. So like what this is doing, when it's touching a repeat until touching any of these obstacles. So we're gonna get a repeat loop. Repeat until loop. Sorry. And then we're gonna repeat until it's touching any of these. And then we're gonna change Y by negative 5 and change the X by G win. That's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna do that real quick. So, and when it touches the things, it's supposed to disappear. So we're gonna do. We need a bunch of ores. So ore. I'm just gonna put a bunch of ores in here. So it has to touch all of these. That's why we need a lot of ores. So how many do we need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need 5 because counting the edge, we have the green flag, the player, the main character, the spikes, the ground, and the edge. And we can add the trampoline as well, but we're not working with the trampoline yet, but we can still add it. So we're gonna, if touching main, touching, I know this is a bit long of a piece of code, edge, touching the green flag, touching ground, touching spikes, and touching trampoline. So like you can do something like this. Okay, so like we just put a bunch of ores and all of them into the repeat until. So we're gonna change the Y by negative 5. And then after that, we're gonna change the X by the G wind. So duplicate that. And then we're gonna repeat 10 times. If not touching white, so like if it's not touching white, then we're gonna change the Y by negative 2. And then we're gonna change the X by G wind divided by 2.5, like so it'll just make a little variety to the wind of the way the snow blows. So it's gonna be a little bit cooler. If not touching the color white, so white, just do this, something like that. Touching white, then we're gonna change the Y by negative 2. Change Y, negative 2. And then we're gonna change the X, just duplicate that. Change the X when a division sign, division, G wind divided by 2.5. Okay, and then we're gonna change the ghost effect by 10, so like when it touches something, it'll just ghost away. Change ghost effect by 10. Put that right there. Oops. Ghost effect by 10. And then delete this clone. Once it touches something, it'll just ghost and delete it. Okay, so now let's save it and play. So as you can see, there's snow coming down. And when it touches the player, it just disappears. It just ghosts away. As you can see, this is pretty cool snow. So yeah, we have level 1 and level 2 finished. So yeah, it's a pretty cool tutorial, pretty cool snow, and I think that'll do it for this tutorial. So if you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. So welcome back, guys, to the channel. Today we'll be doing probably the last part for the Christmas platformer. So we're going to be finishing up the game. So before we get onto the code, I'm just going to go over the code real quick. So this is dying. If it's touching the green flag, go to start a new level. If the player's dead, it'll reset the player. If the player's dead, we're going to set it to yes, which triggers this thing. If a repeat until is player dead equals yes, and this thing broadcasts to here. Then we have if it's hitting the ground, like the platform detection. The platform detection, restarting the game, the movement, jumping, starting all of the controls, like this is the jumping, movement control and jumping, starting these two. And then we have the moving, the speed X, this is the wall jumping, and this collision with walls. And then in the animated character, it's been the same for a while. And then we have the green flag. We placed just 2 levels, so we can just test it out. The snow, we have the snow effect right here. The snow effect. The ground. Spikes, we just put a couple spikes for a sample. And then trampoline we'll be working on today. Okay. So before we move on, we have to do something in here. So I'm just gonna make so this is you have to make it 6 levels. I'm making 7 levels, so I have to make this one less than the total amount of levels. So this is just to show how many green flags you want to put in it. So if the level is less than 6, then we're gonna change the level by 1. Right here. We're gonna in the green flag, no, in the ground, sorry. We're gonna set this to 7. Okay, so now we have that done out of the way. Now we can go into the main character and we can make the fastest score thing. So in my original project, I made a high score, fastest time thing. So we're gonna make a variable called timer. So this is gonna be for all sprites. And then we're gonna make another variable and name it fastest time, and it has to be a cloud variable. So we're gonna put this as a cloud variable. Click OK. So we have the fastest time variable. So we're gonna move this on this side. So it probably wouldn't work yet because we don't have all the levels laid out yet. So we're gonna get into the main character, put a 1 green flag clicked. When green flag is clicked, we're gonna set the timer to 0. Set timer to 0. And then forever, we're gonna keep on updating the timer to the actual timer. We're gonna set the timer to the sensing this timer. Put that in there. Okay. And then we're gonna get an if-then statement. So if, control, put that right there. If level is equal to 7. So I'm making 7 levels, so if the level is equal to 7, that means it's the last level, then we're going to put another if-then statement, and also if timer is less than the fastest time. So if the timer of this person is faster than the fastest time, basically less than, then we're going to set the fastest time to the timer. So then the fastest time will be the fastest person doing it. So, and after that, we're going to stop the script. Put that right here. Stop this script. Okay, so after someone gets the fastest time, then we're going to have to stop the script. So after we're done with this, let's go work on some other levels. So we're going to go into the ground. So for level 3, I just have the ground, a platform up here, and 3 presents. So we have these in the description if you would like to download them, or you can do anything you'd want pretty much, but we just have 3 presents. So we're gonna go into the green flag, so we're gonna show it real quick. So I wanna put the green flag right here. So we're gonna duplicate this, put that under, and put that right here. So if the level is equal to 3, we're gonna place the clone at 206 and 126. Oops. So let me stop it. Okay, so this is where I want it to be, like somewhere right there. So I just drag it where I want, and you can see it right here. And after that, we're gonna we can make another level. So we're gonna go to costumes for the ground. So you guys can do whatever you want for your levels, but this is what we have. For level 4, I just got a candy cane, flipped it to the side, a present, and a ground. So that's basically it. And then we want to position the green flag, maybe like right here. So we're gonna like go to the code, move this, duplicate. So let me zoom in. So if the level is equal to 4, then we're gonna set the position to 202. The X is 202. 202, and the Y is going to be negative 109. Okay, so that's what we want it to be for level 4. And then for level 5, I would like to do this, and we're going to put a jump pad right here. This is why not, because I can jump up here and then get up there. So for the jump pad, you can go to the ground and just copy, not the ground, green flag, and just kind of copy this code into it. Drag and drop into the trampoline. But we'll still have to change some stuff up. Not everything is the same. So obviously we have to make these positions at different places. So zoom in. Okay. Okay, so first let's work right here. So in here we're the first thing we have to change is add something. So like we're making the jump pad change costumes. As you can see, there's a bunch of costumes. So in the beginning, we want to switch the costume to costume 1, trampoline 1. And then in here, we also want to do something. So we can take this thing out. Take this thing out. And then we're going to get another forever loop. So we're here. Let's get a forever loop. Forever. So this is the jumping. If touching main, so if it's touching the main character, the trampoline, then we're going to broadcast a message called bounce, so the player will receive that later, and it will be able to jump up. So we're going to work on that later. First, we're going to work on this first, so we're going to make a new variable, message, and we're going to name it bounce. Bounce, right here. So we're going to name it bounce, and then repeat 8 times because there's 8 costumes, as you can see. So repeat 8 times. And then we're going to do next costume, and then wait 0.05 seconds. Just a little bit wait. And then we're going to switch the costume back to the first costume after we are done. So down here. Switch costume to trampoline 1. And then obviously we have to make these at different locations. So right here we're going to take all of this out. And just keep 1. So I'm going to put a jump pad at level 5. I think this is level 5 or something. Let's go to the ground. So this is level 5 as you can see. So we're going to, if level is equal to 5, we're going to place a clone. Let's show it. I want to place this clone at this location. So we're going to do it at negative 138. And then for the Y, we're going to do negative 117. 117. Like that. So now we have a jump pad appearing right there. So now I have to go back to the main character, and we have to do the bounce thing. So when I receive bounce, we're gonna set the G velocity, so you jump up higher. Set G velocity to 30. Okay, so we just jump up 30 pixels high. I'm pretty sure that's high enough. Okay, and now let's play the game. Let's save it. So level 2, Level 3, as you can see, the flag is right there. Level 4. Level 5, as you can see, the jump pad is working. And we have to add a flag right here. And then we'll add a flag right here, and then add 2 more levels, and then we'll be done. So let's go to the green flag. Duplicate this code. I know it's a little bit tedious putting all this code together. So we want to do level 5. Then we're going to show this thing. Just put the flag like right here. Okay. We're going to put it at 191. And for the X and Y is going to be 150. For level 5, we're going to show it right there. And then for level 6, let's see what we have for level 6. Level 6, what I did was just put a stocking with stuff inside, and then I put a candy cane. So what you're supposed to do is get up here and jump right here, and then the flag will be right here. So there's a little platform right here. So for level 6, all we have to do is just show... Oh yeah, we can add some spikes on level 6 if you guys like. So for level 6, let's add spikes right here. I feel like adding spikes. Let's make this a little bigger. Zoom in. So let's show these spikes. So I want to put the spikes right here. Actually, maybe let's put it right here. So for the spikes on level 5, make it perfect. Okay, there you go. I'm going to make it at 48 and 105. And of course, we have to change the level. So this is level 6. So we're gonna put the spikes right there. And then I want the green flag to be located right here. So let's go to the green flag. So duplicate this. Put that right there. And then when it equals to level 6, we're gonna do it at -203 and 153. Like that. And then for level 7, I made like a little wall jumping level, so I think, let's go to the ground. Costumes, so for level 7, I made like this little wall jumping level. Basically a bunch of random rectangles. And then I'm gonna put the flag up here. And there's a little ravine you can fall into and you can die. So for this level, I'm just gonna, let's hide this for now real quick. So all we're gonna do is just move this green flag where we want it to be, like right here. And then we're gonna go to the code, duplicate, put this right here. And then we're gonna do level 7. So you guys can make as much levels or as little levels as you want, but this is just an example of how many levels you should make at least. And then 142, like that. Okay. And then after that, for the ground, after you pass this level, maybe we can put this costume up here. So let's rename this costume to like costume 12. And then rename this to costume 8. And then rename it. Okay, so this, rename this. And then this one you can rename to 9. And then you can move this one like this. Okay. So and then this is just the thing, like the good job you completed the game thing. So yeah. Actually, and then we can go into the main character. And then instead of doing 6 right here, we can do 7 because I'm adding an extra level, which is this thing. And then we can go to the ground and then we're going to change this 8. So now let's play the game. Oh yeah, and you guys can add music if you'd like. And I think the fastest time is not working yet because we also have to change the amount of levels for that as well. So I will change this after this demo run. So as you can see, I'm gonna fall into this ditch, and as you see, you'll die. And yeah, because this is the last level, the flag will not work. Okay. And then for the fastest time in the main character, instead of levels equal to 7, we're gonna have to do 8. Actually, this is level 7. Green flag, we have to add 1 more. And a mistake in the project. Because the fastest time is not showing up because we have to do this less than 9. The level's less than 9. So now we can save it. Let's play it. And then I'm just gonna do this, and then I can, like, I guess I can just set the level. Also, the timer right here, as you can see, the timer is constantly updating. So as you can see, the timer shows you how fast you're doing it. So I'm gonna quickly finish this. And one more level. And there's one more minor fix in here. So you have to, instead of doing this to 7, because I had 8 levels, I accidentally forgot about this level, so I had to change this to 8, not 7. So it depends how many levels you have, so you're gonna have to change this number to according to how many levels you have in the game. The fastest time is not quite working because right here we stated that timer has to be less than fastest time in order for it to work. So one way you can do it is set the fastest time to something in the beginning. So like if you set it to like 30 or something. 30. And then so now the fastest time is 30. So if you get something lower than 30, then it will automatically change. Another way you could do this, instead of just setting it, you can use an OR statement. So if the fastest time is equal to 0, the fastest time is equal to 0, and then you put this inside here, and then just plug that into here. Okay, so now let's play it and see if the fastest time will work, which I'm pretty sure it will do. Okay, 4, 1, 5, and 6. This is level 6. Okay, and we're almost there. Okay, as you can see, the fastest time actually updated to the current fastest time right here. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and ring the notification bell as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!